Close your eyes. Roll the shoulders back over the hips. Pull the chin back just slightly so that the head is over the shoulders. Take a nice big inhale and bring that gaze to that third eye center, that space right between the eyebrows. As you inhale, feel the body elongating. Feel space being made in between each vertebrae. And as you exhale, feel the body surrendering down. Feel the sitting bones sinking into the earth. Keep that gaze on that third eye center. Now take one hand and bring it on top of the chest and the other hand on the belly. Take an inhale and notice how the chest inflates, the belly inflates. And then as you exhale, feel the heart and the chest surrendering, softening. Feel that belly pulling back, supporting the spine. Continue to follow that breath. Feel the flow of the breath. Go ahead and slowly remove the hands. Continue to follow that breath. With your eyes closed, inhale up the arms, up towards the sky. Bring the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart center. Continue to watch that breath. Take a moment to set your intention for the class. Release those hands down. Inhale up. This time, look up at those hands. And then exhale them down in front of you. Interlace the fingers, place them under the chin. Inhale up the elbows. Exhale, round the back. Pull the belly back towards the spine as you push the fingers away from me. And then inhale up. Exhale those hands, palms to the sky until you get to the shoulders, and then exhale them down. Inhale them up. Exhale those hands down in front of the heart. Interlace the fingers under the chin. Inhale up the elbows. Exhale, round the back. Push those fingers towards me. Really pull that belly back, round that spine. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, open the hands. Inhale up those arms. Exhale those hands down in front of you. Interlace the fingers, maybe shift it over once. Might feel kind of neat. Inhale up. Exhale, round it. Inhale it up. Exhale, open up those hands. Now let's come on to our hands and knees into a table position. And let's do a little cat-cow here. So have those knees hip distance apart. Have those wrists directly underneath those shoulders. And then inhale, let the shoulders relax away from the neck. Get that little curvature in the spine there. And then exhale, round the back. Just warming up the back, getting the crunchiness out of there. Exhale, round. Really pull that belly back towards the spine. Inhale, let the belly sink. Don't push it down. Just let it naturally go to where it's going to go. And then feel free to move this cat-cow around any which way that feels good for you. It might feel good to exhale and come back towards the heels. Always come back to the middle, pulling the shoulders away from the neck, letting the natural curve of the back happen. You might want to just wag the tail. Whatever feels good for you, but have your movement flow with the breath. And if you move one direction, make sure that you flow the other direction. Couple more breaths here. There's no real rules to the cat-cow. And come back to that table position. Take your knees out wide, have the toes come together, and then push back to your child's pose. Allow those arms to come way out here. Let the chest sink towards the earth. Really walk those fingertips out in front of you and try to lift the elbows off the mat here. So you're really getting that full extension. As you inhale, you're really reaching, elongating the back. And as you exhale, you're allowing the hips to fall back towards the heels, surrendering the chest towards the earth. Your forehead or your chin may be on the earth, maybe on a block here. You might even have a blanket or something underneath those, behind those knees for a little bit of comfort. But as you breathe here, feel the whole back side of the body. Inhaling, feeling the back ribs separating. And as you exhale, feel the heart center softening. Notice how the lower back is spreading with each inhale and each exhale. Where is your body holding its tension? Are you clenching your jaw here? Breathe into those spaces. It's calling your name. On that next inhale, feel yourself coming forward on those elbows. Walk them all the way forward until you come down onto your belly. Into that Sphinx pose, an early back bend. If your shoulders bother you, keep those thumbs up. Otherwise, keep them down. Now, ideally, you want to have those elbows underneath the shoulders, but it's a little early in our practice, and that might be too much on the back. So walk the elbows out until it feels okay on the back. Push the elbows and the wrists into the earth. Push down and kind of pull them back without them actually moving. It's kind of like a stuck pickle jar feel. As you inhale, really feel the crown of the head reaching up. You're pushing into that earth. As you exhale, feel the pelvic area, the lower ribs surrender to the earth. Inhale up. Don't jut out the jaw. Our head and our jaw wants to move here. Keep the head neutral. Inhale up with that chest. Exhale. Allow the lower abs, lower ribs to surrender. Might be able to move in the elbows a little bit after a couple breaths. Keep the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Go ahead and slide those hands up over the head, bring them all the way back around, plant them by the chest, and then push back to the child's pose once more. Exhale it back. Inhale back to your table. Tuck those toes under. Try to get all 5 toes on each foot on the mat. Now tic-tac the knees together and the big toes, the ball mound of the big toes together. The ankles will be together. And then walk yourself back towards those heels. Now you might have to support yourself here. Might want to use a block, okay, or here. Now I say that yoga should never hurt. This is probably the one exception. I find this very uncomfortable, but it's so awesome for our feet and our toes. Keep breathing here. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. I go ahead and come forward, flatten those feet, and then bounce them on the mat. Tuck the toes under once again. Our feet are so neglected in the wintertime. Walk those hands back. Try to keep those heels towards one another. The feet want to flay out. You really want to keep them towards one another here. Breathing. We wear all these supportive shoes, and we don't walk barefoot at all in the winter. And so what happens, that really weakens our feet, and it impacts our balance and the whole rest of our body. Our back, our hamstrings, everything. Come back forward. Pound the tops of the feet. One more time. Walk it back. And again, it's fine to support yourself. Everybody has a different level of joint flexibility in their toes. So do what feels best for you. Breathing. Come back forward and pound those feet out. Let's take those knees hip distance apart. A little cat-cow here. Cow, tap. Tuck the toes under now. Now lift the knees just an inch. Now we're really warming up those abs. Keep the front elbows soft. Don't have all your weight in the front elbows. Be kind of balanced between those feet and the hands. Claw the mat so we're not collapsing into the wrists. Breathing here. Holding those knees up, working up those abs, maybe even in the quads. Take another big inhale now. And this exhale, push your sitting bones back behind you as far as they'll go. And then inhale up the hips. Exhale back towards the heels for our first downward facing dog. Breathing here. And go ahead and paddle the feet. You might want to adjust your stance a little bit, clawing the mat so you're not collapsing into the wrist. Shift from one heel to the other. Really come up high in the toes. Exhale back behind the heels. Allow the chest to sink back towards those thighs and that armpit separating, going from one side of the room to the other. So your body is making a V. And don't worry about if those knees are bent here. We're still warming up. Take a nice big inhale. Then we're going to go ahead and tiptoe our way all the way up to the front of the mat. Think of like 2 inches at a time. 2 inches at a time. Warming up those hamstrings. Allow those knees to be bent here and allow the chest and the belly to rest on those thighs to really get into the back of those legs. With the head dangle, maybe use blocks here if that feels good for you. And once you don't really feel that pull on the back of the legs, flex all 10 toes up, feel the 4 corners. Now lift the hips just a little bit more. Let your body fall. We grab onto each elbow and let gravity pull that body down. And then sway those elbows back and forth. Get a little twisting into that lower back. Breathing here. Then bring those hands to the side of the calves and then inhale it halfway. Extending the crown of the head, pulling the hips back, really pushing the heels and the ball mount of those feet into the mat. Pulling the belly in, getting that number 7, pulling the shoulders away from the neck and the ears. And then exhale, fold it down. Inhale it halfway up to that Ardha Uttanasana once again. Exhale, fold it down. Place those hands on the waist. Squeeze those elbows together. Soften the knees. Let the sitting bones come down. And then hinging at the hips. Inhaling all the way up to that Tadasana. Inhale up the arms. Exhale the hands in front of you, in front of the heart center. Open up those hands in your Tadasana. Flex all 10 toes off the mat here. Feel the upper thighs engage. Let the toes relax down, but keep the engagement of those legs. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe test your balance by closing your eyes. Keep the knees slightly soft. And if you feel your body swaying, play with the pelvic tilt a little bit. Find your neutral position here. Your body's in perfect alignment. Feel the strength and the power and the grounding of this Tadasana. Open your eyes and inhale up those arms. Exhale, swan dive it down. Softening the knees as we come down, hinging at the hips. Stepping the right foot all the way back, bring that knee down. Curl that toe, or you can keep it curled. Make sure that the knee is just above the ankle or the ankle below the knee. And then inhale up for that low lunge. Pull the left hip back. That left hip wants to come forward. Pull it back. You can stay here. You can bring those hands on the knees. You can even use blocks here. Okay. Breathing. As you inhale up, pull the ribs in, pull the belly back. As you exhale, let the hips release here. Getting into the psoas. The psoas is this muscle that comes from the diaphragm all the way through that inner leg and all the way up, and it attaches to the lower back. It's one of the main culprits for lower back pain. Inhale it up. Exhale, feel the release. Maybe inhale both arms up at this point. Exhale, feel the release. Don't let the body come forward. When the body comes forward, we release that psoas. I want to get into it. Now exhale those hands down. Tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee up into that low lunge. Shift back to that back heel. That low lunge. Pull the front foot back. Downward facing dog. Come up high in the knees, or high on the toes, bend the knees deeply, look to the front of the mat, and then hop, step, or float to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Maybe you'll be able to keep your fingers on the ground. If not, right here. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Swan dive it down. Step that left foot all the way back. Drop that left knee down. Maybe grab onto those blocks again. Or one block, it doesn't matter. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Let those hips release. Inhale up that crown of the head. Exhale it down. Where is your body holding its tightness? Are you clenching your jaw here, squeezing your eyebrows? Keep the muscles in the face loose. Are the shoulders scrunching up? Right? Inhale up the arms if available. Exhale, let the hips release. One more breath. Let those hands come down into that low lunge. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, low lunge. Again, you might want to use blocks here. That's fine. Whatever works for your body. Shift the weight back towards that back left foot. Breathing here. Slide the front foot all the way back to that downward facing dog. Really lift those hips up towards the ceiling. It's like if someone's suspending you from the ceiling by two strings, one attached to two hips. Push that weight back towards that back, those legs, those heels. Allow the heart center to soften. Inhale up the right leg, nice and tall, and then shift your weight back towards the left heel. And then inhale
inhale that knee towards your chin, rounding that back for that cat-cow. Inhale that leg back up again. Now exhale, we're going to bring that leg all the way forward. Trace the outer right edge of your mat with the knee and swing it forward. Come down on the other knee if you got to bring that leg forward a little bit more, back into that low lunge on the right side. Inhale it up. Exhale the hands in front of the heart center. Take the right hand on the waist by the hip. Pull the right hip back. Inhale up the left arm and then reach for number 1 or 2 on your clock. If you're looking at a clock in front of you, hinge the elbow and then place it just above the knee. Stack the hands. Fingers pointed straight towards the short end of the mat. Stack the elbows. Push the hands together firmly as you lift the chest and turn that right shoulder back into that prayer twist position. Allow the hips to separate. For added intensity, you can lift the back knee. Breathing. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale the hands back together. Bring that prayer twist back forward. Plant the hands. Pull that front foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale it to the plank. Knees up or knees down here. And then exhale, chaturanga down. Elbows pointed straight back towards the hips and slowly come down. Try not to collapse the body. Uncurl those toes. And then inhale up by pushing the hands next to the chest to a cobra. Exhale it down. Tuck those toes, inhale back to your plank, and then exhale back to the downward facing dog. Breathing here. Don't collapse into the palms of the hands. Really claw that mat. Inhale up the left leg. Exhale back towards the right heel. Keep the shoulders square. Take another big inhale and bring that knee into the chest towards the chin, rounding the back here. Working on the abs a little bit. Inhale up that leg. And then exhale that leg all the way forward, replacing that left hand, dropping the back knee. Inhale it up. I like to come back on the right knee first and then exhale forward. I find that a little bit more comfortable and easier on my body. Take that left hand, bring it in that hip crease of that left side, pull that left hip back, and then reach with the right hand towards 10 or 11 on a clock. Hinge the elbow, place it just above the knee. Fingers pointed towards the front of the mat. Stack those hands and then push those hands firmly together as you roll the left shoulder back and bringing the thumbs towards the heart center. Breathing here. Now go ahead and inhale, open the arms. Exhale those hands back together. And again, you can always tuck the back toe and lift that leg for a little bit more intensity. Some people actually find it easier with the back knee lifted. Take a nice big inhale, pull the left hip back, and then slowly bring your hands back forward and place them down onto the mat for the low lunge. Pull that front foot back, downward facing dog. Exhale back towards the heels. Inhale to your plank. Knees up or knees down here. Shift forward about 2 inches, elbows straight back, and then slowly come back all the way down. Uncurl those toes. Hands right next to the chest. Inhale up, pull the shoulders away from the ears for that cobra. And then exhale back on the knees and push back to a child's pose. Find your breath here. Find your way back into the child or downward facing dog by coming up into table, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, pushing them back towards that heels to that downward facing dog. Inhale to that plank. Knees up or knees down here. Now go ahead and drop the left knee. Swing that foot back towards the left. Plant the left hand under the shoulders, fingers pointed to the long edge of the mat, and come to the inner arch of the back right foot. Fingers pointed to the short edge of the mat here, so that you want the wrist directly underneath that shoulder. Inhale up that arm for that side plank. Push to the outer edge of the right foot. Now, if you want something a little bit more challenging, you can come under both legs here for that side plank. Here's that knee support. Another challenge is coming to the outer edge of both feet and using the top leg as a kickstand. Okay, so do what feels best for your body. If you have the lower leg up, come back into that original lower leg stand, side plank. Take a nice big inhale, and then we're going to come all the way up and exhale over to the other side. Gate pose. Really reach. Now turn the pinky finger up towards the ceiling, so you're opening up that body. Inhale, feel the body lengthening. Exhale, folding over. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, over. Take another big inhale. Inhale it all the way up, and then exhale back into the side plank. This time, bringing that arm straight out. Opening the palm up towards the ceiling. Keeping the left elbow soft here. Take a nice big inhale. Maybe lift up that right foot up. Really reaching from one end to the other, flexing that foot. Take another big inhale, and as you exhale, bring the elbow and the knee towards one another. And inhale it out. Getting a little ab work here. Exhale the knee, leg together. Inhale it out. One more time. Exhale the knee, the leg towards one another. Inhale it out. Go ahead and put that leg down. Really reach. Roll the right shoulder down. Come back into a table position, pulling that leg in. Inhale up. Exhale, round it. Inhale up. Tuck the toes. And then exhale back to the downward facing dog. Inhale to the plank. Exhale, chaturanga down. Uncurl those toes. Inhale up for your cobra. Exhale it down. Tuck the toes. Inhale back to the plank and exhale to the downward facing dog. Breathing here. Take that dog, a nice 3 breaths in that dog. Okay, now we're going to inhale to the plank and drop the right knee down. Swing the right foot back behind you to the long edge of the mat. Stack the right hand right underneath the shoulders. Come to the outer edge of the left foot and then inhale up for that side plank. Breathing, keep that belly in, keep the right elbow soft, really reach with those hands. Breathing, and again, you have lots of options for this side plank. You can take that right foot, stack it underneath the left foot. You can use that left leg as a kickstand, right? Or right where we were before, that leg's down. So do what feels good for your body. Exhale the hand over the head there for a moment. Just feels good. Push the outer edge of that left foot into the mat. Inhale up that arm. Exhale, feel the body release. Where's your body holding its tension? And we're going to inhale all the way up. Bring both hands up and then exhale over towards the left, really reaching. Turn the palm towards the sky. Exhale. Notice how the sides of the body feel different. Inhale, reach. You think that our bodies would be symmetrical as far as movement, but they're really not. Our sides are different. Inhale it up. Exhale all the way back down to that side plank. And then lift that left foot. Now you can do this exercise from the side plank if you want. Take a nice big inhale as you exhale, bring the left knee and elbow towards one another. Inhale it out. Exhale it together. Inhale it out. Exhale it together. Inhale it out. Take a nice big inhale, round the left shoulder down back into that plank. You might be in a knee plank or legs up. Chaturanga down. Uncurl those toes, feet together, elbow side. Inhale up for your cobra. Exhale it down. Tuck the toes back under. Inhale and back to the downward facing dog. Inhale up that right leg nice and high. Shift back towards the left heel. Inhale the knee towards the chest, rounding. Now gently place the knee down. Slide it to the left side of the mat. And then slide the right hip down. Getting into the IT band of that right leg. Keep the shoulders square towards the mat. It's okay if this leg is bent, and it's okay if this leg is back down here. It might feel easier or better if you come down on your elbows. Actually being upright in this position is a lot more intense on that leg and stretch than coming down here. Really try to keep that left shoulder coming down into this twist. Breathing. Slowly come on back up. Push in with the back ball amount of the back toe to lift that hip and pull that leg back. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and inhale up the left leg, bring it through, and then slide it through the right side of the body. Coming slowly down onto that left hip. Walking the hands out, coming down on the elbows, whatever feels easier for your body. IT band on the other side. Slowly walk that body back up. Find your way back to the downward facing dog. Really lift the hips, exhale back towards the heels. Inhale to your plank. Chaturanga down, knees up, down or up. Uncurl those toes, inhale up for that cobra. And then exhale back down to the downward facing dog or child's pose perhaps. Breathing, hold this for 3 breaths. Push the weight away from your hands and your arms. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees deeply, look to the front of your mat, and then either hop, step, or float to the front of the mat. Tic-tac the feet towards one another. Push the knees towards one another here. Forward fold. Inhale halfway, your monkey. Exhale, fold. Now bend those knees. Push those sitting bones back behind you like you're going to sit in a chair, and then inhale up. Those arms for our Utkatasana, our chair pose. Push those knees towards one another. Exhale the hands in front of the heart. Take a nice big inhale as you exhale. Take the right elbow and place it just above the left knee. Push those hands together, stacking that prayer twist together. Now that left knee wants to come forward, so pull it back. Pull that left hip back so the knees are even. Really push those legs together and then inhale, open the arms. Exhale the hands back towards one another. Inhale back to center. Pull the belly away from the thighs and then exhale that left elbow just above the left knee. Stack the hands. Push those hands together as you roll the right shoulder back. That right knee wants to come forward, so pull it back, make sure it's level. The left knee might even come. Inhale, open the hands. Exhale those hands back together. We're almost done here. Inhale back to that Kontasana. Inhale, open those arms. And then exhale, swan down all the way down. And inhale up. Woo, forward fold. Never felt so good, right? Inhale it halfway. Soften the knees. And then inhale all the way up. Swan dive it down. Step back to your downward facing dog. Inhale up that right leg. Exhale that knee to the outer edge of the right wrist. Swing that right foot over towards the left side. Step the left knee back. I'm going to tuck that toe. Pull the right hip back just a little bit more. Now, this is in our pigeon, so you may want a block to put it underneath that hip if you need that, okay? Another option is that blanket or a towel that you might have right along that front leg, because we're going to sit back into that hip. So do what feels right for your body, okay? So sit back towards that hip. Let the shoulders square towards the front of the mat, and you can allow the body to come down here in this pigeon pose. You can bring your elbows onto a block here if that feels good. They might be able to come down to the ground. You might be able to just bring your head onto a block. Whatever feels comfortable for your body. Allow the heart center and the shoulders to relax. Release any tension that you might be holding in the face. Release the jaw, the brows. Are you squinting your eyebrows? Use your breath to allow the heart to soften towards the earth and the hip to release. If your front of your calf is very parallel to the front edge of the mat, make sure that foot is flexed to protect the knee. If your leg is more at an angle like mine is, that foot can stay more in a relaxed or pointed position. Slowly find your way back up to your hands. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee to lift the right hip up and slide that foot all the way back into the downward facing dog. And notice the difference between the left side of the body and the right side here in your downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg back behind you. Shift to the right heel. Now inhale that knee all the way forward and place it to the outer edge of the left wrist. Now allow that left foot to slide over towards the right side. Slide the right knee or right foot back. Pull the left hip back just a little bit so you're a little bit more square towards the front of that mat. And then slowly allow the body to come down and pigeon on the other side. Breathing here. Where is your body holding its tightness? Where is it screaming your name? Breathe into that area and release it. Slowly find your way up from this pigeon. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee to lift the left hip. Pull that foot, that last downward facing dog. Drop the knees down. Tuck the toes, push back to the child's pose. Notice the difference between this child's pose and the child's pose we did in the beginning of our practice. Slowly find your way back up to a seated position and come down onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest. And then just roll those knees in a circle. Checking in with the lower back here. We're going to do a few abs here. Okay. So with these abs, I want you to bring the knees, feet down. Take that right foot or right leg and cross it over the left knee like you're sitting in a chair. Now lift both legs up, and then if it's available, you might want to stay here, but if it's available, you can take that left foot and tuck it under the right leg into those eagle's legs. The right leg crossed on top, okay? If that foot doesn't tuck under, don't worry about it. Staying right here is fine, okay? Take those arms out into a T, and then cross the right arm on top of the left, stacking the elbows and intertwining the hands. Again, if the hands don't meet, what I like to think is give yourself a hug and bring the back of the hands together. If you can intertwine those hands together, great. If not, staying here is fine as well. Take a nice big inhale and separate the elbows and the knees. And then exhale the knees towards the elbows. Inhale, open. Exhale them together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale it together. Inhale, open. Exhale them together. Or eagle crunches. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Really pull the belly in towards the mat when you're exhaling. Inhale it open. Exhale it together. Inhale, open. Exhale it together. Inhale back to neutral. Open up those arms. Release the legs. Woo. Bring them into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Allow the legs to drop back down. Left leg over the right leg. Lift the knees, intertwine the feet if it's available. Arms out wide, Left arm over the right. Give yourself that hug. Bring the backs of the hands together and then perhaps intertwine the hands if it's available. Inhale, open those knees and elbows. Exhale it together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Few more here. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Come back to neutral. Untwist those arms, twist those legs, give yourself a hug. Maybe some little circles back and forth with those knees. Drop those feet down, place them firmly on the mat. Maybe reach for the heels. If you reach the heels, that's fine. It doesn't matter if your fingers touch the heels. Feet hip distance apart. Tuck the elbows into the waist and point the fingers towards the sky. Push the elbows into the ground firmly as you push off four corners of the feet and lift up into a bridge. Inhale, up that chest, up the hips, away from the chin. Don't bring the chin towards the chest. Let the chin stay neutral and push the chest towards the chin. Exhale down, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale up for that bridge again. Now, if it's available, you can bring those hands down and maybe interlace them. Grab onto maybe a strap and pull the knuckles towards the heels. That'll give you a little bit more lift and open the shoulders a little bit more. Feels good. And exhale it down. Go ahead and grab onto your strap. Bring both legs out. Take that strap and wrap it under the ball mount of the right foot. Flex that foot up. Keep the shoulders down here. Flex the foot, push the heel away from you. Now as you exhale, pull that right hip down into the earth. You feel it in the back of that leg. Take another big inhale. Grab the strap with your left arm and then the right arm goes out to the right and cross that leg over the body. Inhale it back up. Switch hands. And on the exhale, open up the leg to the right. Inhale it up back to the center. Flex the knee, pulling that leg down. Maybe grab the outer edge of that foot. Pull that knee towards the armpit for that half happy baby. Don't forget about the left leg. Flex that leg. That foot, push that heel away. Now slowly release that leg. Inhale it up once again. And then exhale it all the way down. And then go ahead and switch sides. Inhale up the left leg. Keep that foot nice and flexed. Exhale that left hip into the earth as you gently pull on the strap. Hold that strap with the right hand and then exhale that left leg over to the right side using the left hand as a counterbalance. If your back is ever bothering you, this little series of steps we're doing with the strap will release your back. Maybe hold each pose for 6 breaths, let's say. Inhale it up. Plug the left hip down, switch hands, and on your next exhale, open the right arm out to the right and that leg to the left. Keep that foot flexed. Hold the left hip back towards you. And then inhale up that leg. Flex it, plug the left hip down a little bit more, and then hinge the knee. Using the strap here to pull that knee towards that armpit, or perhaps the outer edge of the foot is available for you. Keep the leg flexed. A lot of times our heel wants to drop down here. We want to keep that leg up here, getting into that hip. Flex that right foot out away from you. Release that foot. Exhale it down. Release your strap. Bring both knees into the chest. Roll the whole body to the left side and stack the right hand on top of the left. Now open up the right hand out to the right side for a little twist here. You can take that left hand and place it on top of the right thigh if it feels good. You may not need that counter pressure. Slowly release those knees back to center. And then roll your full body over to the right side, stacking the left hand on top of the right. Now inhale up the left hand and exhale it over towards the left. Now, if you're finding at this point the shoulders are still lifting up a lot, you can always do our little angel wing tip. Just take the fingertips back and forth, and that will relax that shoulder down. Breathing here, allowing the body to release. And our final twist. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. Be rock and roll. Maybe some little circles, whatever feels good for your body. Notice, check in with the back here. Notice how the back is feeling. And then when you're ready, release one leg down, then the other. Preparing for that Shavasana. Bringing those arms out to the side. Now, if you want to put a blanket or something, or maybe even the blocks underneath the knees here, that feels really good, especially if your back tends to bother you. Okay, that's a really nice tip. Let the toes fall away from each other. Arms 6 to 8 inches away. And then bring your attention to your breath. Find that third eye center. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, feel the muscles in the back of the eyes soften. Feel the wrinkles smooth away from the face as gravity pulls down. Feel the jaw release. Teeth might separate. Just watch your breath as you inhale through the crown of your head. And then as that prana makes its way down the back of the neck, feel the shoulders releasing and surrendering into the earth. Feel the earth pushing back to support your body. With each exhale, your body sinks a little bit deeper. And that prana makes its way down each arm, past the elbows, through the wrists, and all the way out the tips of the fingers. Continue to follow that breath and notice how the chest rises with each inhale. And as you exhale, feel the heart center soften. The navel center will pull back. And the hips will release and sink a little bit deeper into the earth. Feel the prana making its way down each leg, past the knees, through the ankles, and all the way out the tips of the toes. And as we continue to follow that breath, it'll make its way all the way back up through the tailbone, through the lower back, along the spine, the back of the neck, back of the head, and all the way up the crown of the head once again. Just enjoy that peaceful, relaxing feeling. With each inhale, feel the coolness of the prana entering the body. And as you exhale, you're releasing any remaining tension, stress, anxiety out the ears, the nose, the mouth, the tips of the fingers, the tips of the toes, every pore of the body. But the only thing remaining is that peaceful, healing energy. Gently bring your awareness back to the present moment by wiggling those fingers and toes. Then bringing one knee in, then the other, giving yourself a gentle hug. And then slowly roll yourself to one side using your arm or your hands as a pillow. Taking a moment to reflect on your practice. Notice how the body is settled, the breath is settled, and the mind is settled. And with your head heavy and your eyes closed, gently push yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands together in a prayer position in front of the heart center. And then rub them together, creating heat and friction to the palm of those hands. Then cup your eyes, blocking out all the light and opening your eyes into the darkness, absorbing that energy. Close your eyes, bring your hands back to prayer position on the forehead, bow your head, namaste.